Good?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll be refuting Kyla White's claim of fact that social media has negative effects on our society. And her secondary claims include that social media has a negative effect on social skills, social media can be a dangerous place for social interactions, and that social media decreases one's productivity and ability at work. To address her first claim, social media has a negative effect on social skills, which implies that social media inhibits social development in children and teens. Through further research in this topic, social media has given teachers a new ability to increase productivity and participation of children in class. Through applications such as Class Dojo, Evernote, and Edmodo, teachers now more than ever have the ability to interact with students and, most importantly, their parents. Now, with their parents watching, this has resulted in an increase of productivity in schools such as School 21, which is a state-funded 21st century model of a modern technology-based primary school in London. And they were rated outstanding by the annual Ofsted inspection for primary schools in the United Kingdom in categories such as achievement, teaching and learning, and, to quote them, the ability to talk and discuss with a maturity and confidence that is remarkable for their years. On top of that, social media also allows children to develop confidence and aids overall mental well-being. Using the common sense media poll that Kyla used, which I'd have to question the usage of her source, teens 13 through 18 who do spend said average 9 hours a day on social media also have a reported 28% increase in outgoingness, a 20% increase in confidence, a 19% increase in emotional intelligence, and a 15% increase in, to quote them, feeling better about yourself. To add on to that, social media also has decreased depression and shyness of teens with a respective 10% and 29%. To address her second claim, social media is a dangerous place for social interaction. To address her first point with that of catfishing and other social media harassment, this issue is actually very easily prevented through the social networking safety guidelines of the National Crime Prevention Council's social networking safety guideline. And those 3 points are to not give up optional info, to keep your profile privacy at a maximum, and third, only interact with people who are verified by the social networking outlets or people that you personally know. To address her point of cyberbullying, cyberbullying does seem prolific in her speech, but that's just because of the media's negative focus on the issue. Professor Dan Olweus of the University of Bergen in Norway used a sample size of 450,490 students in the United States, and those students reported that 17.6% of them were verbally abused, whereas a mere 4.5% reported being cyberbullied. And to also quote Shirley Katz, Common Sense's director of media, for every heartbreaking case of cyberbullying, there are many stories of teens who use social media for good. For example, at the Tony Awards, teens have gotten resounding support from the social media community for their submissions of their own talent, regardless of their skills. So regardless if they were bad or good, noticeably, the social media community has supported them. And to discuss claim number 3, social media decreases productivity at work, Dr. Brent Ellis Coker of the University of Melbourne in 2013 studied that workplace internet leisure browsing, as she calls it, has increased productivity by 9% as it gives the workers the ability to refresh their brain after a quick break of social media. This allows them to look at other aspects of life during work, as well as grab ideas from alternative points of view through social media. Companies also have the ability to increase productivity of employees by praising them on social media outlets, giving them praise in front of millions of viewers throughout their social media website. And naturally, if you are praised in front of millions of people, it would give you a natural feeling to be more productive in the workplace. And I feel that with her point of jobs tracking them through social media, I feel like there's no issue with that, because this can easily be dealt with through privacy settings. And to use it to your advantage, you should be also giving your employers a means to praise them on social media. Sorry about that. Your employers a means to notice you in a positive way and use it to your advantage. You can look up your potential reviewer through social media, and you can actually cater your resume to their wants. And finally, to discuss her issue of sleep deprivation and its link with social media, the study done by Dr. Levinson, used by Kyla, failed to include the reason why they were on the social media websites, as subjects could have previously just had sleep disorders and used their time awake on it as a way to vent. And you can just easily resist the urge to go on social media and prioritize sleep with sleeping apps such as the sleep cycle alarm clock. It tracks your sleeping patterns and it wakes you during your light sleep phase in the morning. And also another app, Clear Focus, which is a productivity app. You can use it as a way to lock your phone through customizable settings so that after 30 minutes you can fall asleep. Your phone unlocks whenever you need to use it. And in conclusion, although Kyla's speech was well written, I feel that through further research and reasoning, there was really no outstanding negative effect, but many apparent positive effects on our society from social media. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, most of your response is really counterclaim. You've got counter arguments and examples to respond to whatever the advocate said. I didn't hear a lot of analysis of the evidence that the advocate used, but I did hear good information suggesting counter conclusions. And there was one place where you seemed to be using the same source that the advocate used on that first point, and you seem to be suggesting that there's actually completely different results than the advocate was talking about. So that was a little bit confusing, but if your position is correct on that, then it seems to suggest that there are substantial benefits from social media on that first point. The argument about some of the dangers, you mentioned, catfishing and cyberbullying. On the catfishing issue, you basically address it by saying, look, there are ways to control and minimize that. I think it would be a good idea to challenge the argument, the advocate's suggestion that the argument is substantial or important also, but you have a reasonable counterclaim here, but I think there are other arguments that could be made that are directed more to the evidence and grounds, the evidence and the reasoning that the advocate used. The cyberbullying argument I thought was a little bit more specific. Again, it's counter evidence. I don't remember what the advocate's argument was, except that they had particular cases that they were using, and then you came back and talked about how social media is used substantially more for a variety of good things. That's never quantified, but you do have a nice example. So we've got the nice example from the negative, from the advocate side, and from your position. The on-balance evidence is still a little bit up in the air. On the third point, you've got an interesting argument about increased productivity. I like that. The idea that there's going to be praise and some benefit from the reviewing process that people use. That seems a little bit esoteric. I don't remember if the advocate quantified anything in their argument. You don't quantify anything in your argument, but you do suggest that there are ways to address some of the negative issues like sleep deprivation by using more apps that are designed to help you with your social media. So, okay. That's an interesting way to go at it. Thank you.